What is up, PFL Nation? It is your boy John Smith in the booth on this Friday night game. We got the new #1 team in the nation, Georgia, coming off that big win against Notre Dame where they closed them out 25-13. Going in against, moving up in the ranks as well, Texas, ranked 5 now in the nation, who are coming off of a loss actually against Ole Miss, 6-16. But I tell you what, actually, I am so wrong. Sorry, that was 2 weeks ago. What am I talking about? Whew. Long day. Texas coming off a huge win, upset win against Bama. What am I saying right now? They brought in Arch Manning, and he went absolutely crazy, upsetting the #1 team in the nation. Absolutely dominant performance out of Texas, and that jumped them up to the 5th ranked slot. My bad, Texas. I watched that game too. But yeah, this should be an absolute thriller tonight. We're going to see if Georgia can hang on and win and hold on to that #1 rank, or if they will fall. We all know in the PFL it is hard as a mother to hold on to that #1 spot. So we will see what happens as Georgia does get off on the kick return, and we will get the first look at this offense led out by none other than KJ Smith, of course. They have the Heisman, Ryan Brooks in the backfield. Chris Elko at wideout, along with Kyson Carter and AJ Barnes, who have been absolutely feasting as of late. And we can't forget about good old Wimbo at tight end. So you know KJ's got weapons all over the place. They are the #1 team in the nation for a reason. I'm excited to see what they cook up against this Texas defense. As we do see a quick pass, really easy 9-yard gain to start this game. That's exactly what Georgia's going to be looking for. That is Elko on the grab, who has been having better and better weeks, man. He keeps coming out and performing. We see Jameson with Texas on the tackle. We got the shotgun formation here for KJ. Going to see the handoff here. I wonder if they're going to give him forward progress. That might be close. He did get bounced back a little bit. Let's see, as they show Ryan's stats, it does look like they are going to give him the first down. I can probably tell by how hyped he was. Adamora on the tackle, barely getting across that chains marker. And we're going to see an empty backfield here for Georgia. AJ with the quick pass. Looks like he was not on the same page as his receiver there. That was Ryan Brooks lining up at receiver. He went one way and KJ threw the other. So he's going to have to stay on top of that for next time. See KJ again getting ready to take the snap. Pressure coming from Texas. They rushed a whole lot, but they had some great protection. Manages to find his man, get the ball out, and keep the chains moving. Great play there. That is Wimbo Bands on the catch. You can see the quick handoff here, but nowhere to go. Absolutely stuffed in the backfield. -1 rush for the Heisman winner. That is Cook on the tackle. And speaking of Cook and this Texas defense, you know, they got Terrell Franklin out there, you know, along with Jackson Willis and Jaden Sanders. I know they are kind of switching up some of this defense with their more veteran guys, you know, with Noah White and Neon King. So I'm excited to see kind of the more veteran squad get out there. Texas obviously knows how to use those guys and turn it into a victory with a massive upset last week against Bama. And I expect them to continue to lean on their experienced college players and less so on the young guys as they want to keep winning against these high-ranked teams. Obviously, back-to-back #1 teams is a very tough schedule, but I'm sure this Texas defense is up to the challenge. And I'm just excited to see this matchup, to be honest. And there it is already. KJ throwing a pick right into that lineman's hands. Adkins with the huge interception. That is the opposite of what Georgia's looking for on their very first drive. And now we're going to get our first look tonight at Arch Manning. He came out last week and absolutely dominated Alabama, was looking insane. And I'm excited to see if he can have back-to-back games. You know, he keeps playing like this, and Mr. Lamar Anderson ain't going to get another start this year, as Texas has the ball on a fantastic position right now. Obviously, they're going to start it off by handing it off to my boy CT. Carlos Thompson, that is still RB1 back there, wearing the #1, with a solid start to this offensive drive. Of course, they got a buy-hit wide receiver as well. And, you know, they got Amari Anthony out there, Julius Thumper out there. So, you know, Arch definitely has targets, but I expect to see a whole lot of CT throughout this game. We see the read option there. Nowhere to go with that one. And it does look like Georgia goes ahead and makes the stop for the second down. Nowhere to really move that ball. Does float that in there. What a catch! Arch with the 25-yard dot to Hall. What a grab. I did not think that was going to get floated in there, but he somehow manages to come down with it. Absolute clutch grab. Look at that perfect cut to the inside on the route. And Speed didn't know what hit him as he breaks to the inside and gets it done. You know, this defense is definitely led out there for Georgia by our boy Tim Ricks and Amari Jones III, along with those twin safeties, but it doesn't even matter. I don't even have time to talk about that as CT barrels his way into the end zone, and Texas is starting this one hot. Gets a big pick on defense, gets the ball, and CT gets the first touchdown on the board for Texas, already off to a 6-0 start against the #1 ranked team. You know, I was just about to introduce those pair of safeties. You know, Juan Redden and Kyrie Sims are both freaks, but they could not get to him in time as CT gets across for the touchdown. And are we seeing back-to-back #1 upsets by this Texas team? Maybe we are, folks. Only in the PFL are you going to have weeks like this, man. The back-to-back craziness as Texas does turn it into 7-0. Also, I do want to say, lining out that Georgia defense, of course, we have some excellent defensive linemen in Chase Moore, Davion Bryant, and LJ Gray. Don't want you fellas thinking I forgot about you, but that drive just went by so fast, it was hard to get through that defensive lineup. We're going to see Georgia get the ball back and see how KJ responds. I know Coach Wood's got to be mad at the start of this game for this team. They know they have to be better if they want to beat Texas. Texas coming off that huge upset against Bama. We knew they were going to come out hot. We knew they were playing their experienced guys. You know, that's why I talked about Noah White. That's why I talked about Keon King, because I know they're going to be playing these guys out here. And Georgia has to be ready for that. This is a different look Texas team than we've seen, you know, prior to the game against Bama, and they're proving that right here. They're stuffing the Heisman winner at the line of scrimmage again. 3 rushes for -1 yards. The run game is just not there. We see KJ with the pump fake, has his man, but it doesn't stay in his hands. Look at that, 2 of 6 for 22 yards and an interception. Unable to hang on to that ball was Kyson Carter, which almost never happens for him. Absolutely crazy, smothering Texas defense right now. We're going to see KJ take the snap in the shotgun here. Tries to goes underneath, but not really any chance for that man to turn it upfield. Wimbo Bands just kind of grabs it and falls to the ground, and we are seeing a punt again out of Georgia. Interception and then a super quick 3-and-out. This is a crazy start to this game, and not what I expected at all. You guys know I'm big fans of this Georgia team. I believe in what they're doing, but Texas is coming out here and saying, you got to start believing in us. We're the ranked 5 team. We just beat the #1 team in the nation, and we're trying to set it up again. Arch Manning under center saying, this is my job, this is my school, trying to carry this team on his back. Sees the fake to CT, rolls out, tons of time, looks for his man, almost has him. Oh my goodness, that was so close to a catch. Unreal there. I thought that was going to be a catch off the deflection. Ends up not happening. Turns it into just a short gain. And now we've got 3rd and manageable. That first down play was wild. Texas already showing over 50 yards halfway through this first quarter. Arch in the shotgun. Pressure coming. Has to get rid of it. Doesn't do so and goes down. Tim Ricks coming all the way around from the corner on the corner blitz. Huge sack out of him, and that's what Georgia needed to get some momentum back in this game. Get some momentum back on their side in front of this home crowd up here in Athens. They got to do what they got to do, and just like that, Tim Ricks is getting the crowd pumped up once again. Setting up Texas to punt, and Georgia is going to have their opportunity to bounce back. As we are just under 5.5 minutes here in the first quarter. Long punt there, not really a lot of running room. Does take the return and gets a few yards out of it, runs over his man on the tackle. And now we're going to get another look at this Georgia offense. I know for a fact that Coach Woods is saying this is not the team I'm used to seeing. And you can tell by the way this offense is playing that this Texas defense is on the clamps right now. KJ gets ready. Pressure is coming on that side. Has his man. There he goes, delivering. And that's exactly what they need to see to keep the ball moving. That is Kyson Carter holding on that time. There's his first catch of the night for 14 yards. Georgia can't really afford to continue to have these stalled drives, so it's great to see that out the gate. They know the run game isn't doing too crazy. They do see the handoff here. Massive hole up the middle. And just like that, Ryan Brooks showing why he is the Heisman winner. After getting stuffed a few plays, breaks off for a huge 15-yard run. And Georgia is moving the ball like we know they can. This is what I expected to see when this game started. Texas came out here super surprising, got the interception, got the touchdown. But now things seem to be settling in a little bit, you know, as we are 4 minutes left in this first quarter. We're going to see KJ take the snap here. Another handoff for Ryan Brooks, tries to cut. Not quite a gap there for him to jump through. You can see he's at 5 carries for 20 yards. But staying a little positive, of course. They are in second down territory now, just going right back to him. Not able to break forward there. Good wrap-up tackle. And now it looks to be in a passing situation. That is Ademora on the tackle again. He got the jump, but doesn't quite hike it in time. Pressure coming. Does he have a man? Yes, he does. Delivers the target, and that is A.J. Barnes with his first catch of the night. Pressure in his face, but did not matter. Managed to get the ball out in time. You see C.J. talking to Arch on the sidelines about what they're going to do in the next drive. Texas's rush was not quite able to get there, and against man defense, you know these Georgia receivers are going to get open. It's just a matter of when, not if. And KJ did a great job finding him here. KJ's honestly come much more responsive after the interception. Knows he has to come out here and perform if they want to hold on to that number 1 spot. As we see Ryan try to get to the outside, but no room there to move. It does get stuffed. KJ Anderson takes a snap, and he is going to go down. The Texas rush. Pierre gets to him this time. Michael Pierre, the defensive tackle. You often don't see those DTs with big sacks. That is a big play for Texas, sucking a little bit of momentum out of the stadium. There just wasn't anything for KJ to do. And I tell you what, this is why Georgia likes to line up in the shotgun, not under center on these passing plays, because when you're right there, it's really tough, man. These guys are strong, they're fast, they're getting to the quarterback with the quickness, not able to break out on that one. Now we see him in the shotgun, little fade pass, has his man wide open. Wimbo Bands crosses the plane and gets the touchdown. Absolute laser from KJ. Finds his man in stride through the seam. And just like that, Georgia's getting ready to tie it up before the end of this first quarter. Great play by Wimbo. Great play by KJ. And Georgia's like, hey, we're the number 1 team for a reason. We're not just going to roll over while Texas does whatever they want. They tried to get there in time. They made a tackle, but Wimbo stretches to get across the plane and gets it done. Big time play out of Georgia, and that's what we expect to see out of the number 1 team in the nation. We'll see him go ahead and kick this extra point, tie it up. And get ready to kick this ball back to Texas. I expect him to take a knee here. He does. We see Arch coming out once again. Again, even on that last drive, Texas almost had an insane deflected catch on the first play. So Texas still has to be feeling pretty good, especially since, you know, they kicked it off to start the game. So it might as well be 0-0, even though it's 7-7. I'm going to see Arch under center. Does the handoff to CT. Immediately, CT breaking out with that bread loaf run. It's so funny watching him the second he touches the ball and just throws that thing down like it's not there and just goes sprinting. We do see him get the 9-yard gain here. Going right back to him. Finds the little open lane and does get the first down. Keeping the ball moving is Texas. That's got to be critical for them. Time of possession, I really feel like, is going to be the difference maker in this game. So whoever's going to have better clock management football, ultimately, I think is going to come away with the win as CT gets tripped up by his own man there. unable to get into the line because he gets tripped up by his own tight end going in motion. And that is the end of the first. Let me see those twos in chat. Let me hear some predictions. Let me see some Georgias or some Texas. How everybody feeling? Let me know who you think is going to walk away with the victory here on Friday Night Lights. We do see a dot on the curl route by Arch. Again, keeping the ball moving, doing exactly what they need to do. And Georgia's going to be thinking to themselves, we just got to tighten up a little bit on the defensive side. We see the rollout here from Arch. He finds his man again. Did he hang on to that? Oh, no, he didn't. I was about to say, hanging on to an absolute slam hit out of Tim Ricks and company would have been insane. Unable to do so. Overthrows his man there, and suddenly we are right away looking at a 3rd and 10 for Arch Manning in Texas. Let's see what they can draft up to try to convert here. Nowhere to go with that ball. Still batting around on the line. Arch is not looking as hot this game. 3 of 7. And Texas is forced to punt the ball back to Georgia here. And if you're watching, you're brand new to the PFL, as we do see an absolute coffin of a punt on the 4-yard line. Great job out of their punter. But if you are new to the PFL, please be sure to tune in every week. We have content for you just about every single day. The PFL is a simulation football league where you can live out your collegiate dreams and make your way into the pros. It is run by a great commissioner in Zeke. Got a great group of guys who love to make content, love talking football. So if you are brand new, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. Check us out on Instagram. And make sure to click the sign up link in the description. And who knows, maybe the next game I call, I will be calling your name instead of these guys, as we do see KJ with another handoff to the Heisman winner, Ryan Brooks. Keeping the ball moving. Now he's got lots of room to work behind him instead of stuffed to the back of his own end zone. And we do see, like I said, Georgia loves to line up inside these shotgun formations because they know under center that pressure from Texas gets there quick. We see the fake touch pass into a handoff to Ryan Brooks again. But this time, Texas seems pretty prepared for it, as that's not really going anywhere, as we have 2nd and 9 here. We see KJ take the snap. Just has to settle for the dump off underneath. Nowhere else really to go there. Texas defense locking down those deep routes, which is great. That's what they need to be doing to make sure they don't get burned. Pressure coming. Goes to his man, finds his man again. KJ is delivering these low balls where only his receivers can get them, and what a catch by the boy, Kyson Carter. Once again, we see White on the tackle there. You see, remember I was mentioning they're bringing out some of the more veterans on the defensive side, so that was Noah White on the tackle. But Kyson was just ready to grab that ball, and I tell you, those transfers of Kyson Carter and A.J. Barnes really have taken Georgia over the top. You know, you watch this team and you think to yourself, every single weapon on this team can make a play at any time. And they set up the quick screen. Bumbling, not going down, taking 3 guys to bring Ryan down there. Turning what kind of seemed like a fumbled screenplay into a decent gain to stay positive in front of the chains. But yeah, those transfers have made a huge difference for Georgia. This offense looks lethal week in and week out. And I mean, the key takeaways looking at this game for Texas has to be try to keep Georgia under 21 points, right? That has to be your big, attempt, as we see Wimbo get an absolute monster grab and run after the catch. Already at 4 catches and 50 yards, absolutely feasting at the start of this game as we are at the 2nd quarter, 7.5 minutes left. Georgia's doing what they want now on offense with the ball, so Texas got to get back to what they were doing at the start of the game. You know, they started this game off with a hot interception that turned into a touchdown, and since then, Georgia's really, besides the 1-3 and out, been able to do what they need to do as far as get the ball moving. Let's see what they do here. We see the fake touch pass again. A fake handoff. Pressure is coming. Nowhere really for KJ to go. Hit as he threw that ball out of bounds. Smart decision to throw it away and not try to force it. Great pressure by Texas. Great defense. We do see him sending Kyson Carter in motion here. Keeps Ryan back to block. Has to settle for the check down. It does go to Kyson. But honestly, if you're Georgia, you got to be thinking we got to move the ball a little bit better here. Every time Texas sends the pressure, it seems we have to settle I don't know what that was. Oh my goodness, as the lineman almost just spins his way into an interception. KJ and and Ryan were not on the same page on that one for that screenplay. Georgia does have to settle for the field goal. Does make it so they get the lead for the first time tonight. It is 10-7 Bulldogs in front of this home crowd. They have to be happy that they've managed to, fight their way back for a victory. Not for a victory, I apologize, for the lead. But if you're Texas, you have to be okay with what you're seeing as well. Honestly, that first drive was really, really smooth. You've had a couple stall drives. I would be getting the ball back to CT. He seems to be able to do whatever he wants in the running game. And Arch right now, his confidence might be a little sketchy. This is why they brought LA in the first place. Is because Arch sometimes his confidence gets to him, and he can't quite perform as well as he needs to. So let's see how he's responding now that Georgia has retaken the lead. We see CT just fighting, man. Jukes one guy, gets to the outside. Two guys trying to push him down before he finally gets tackled. Texas has to lean into that run game. He did look like he got the flag this time. Not going to matter. They might get one extra yard as CT just barrels his way for the first. Let's see, are they even going to accept it? No, yeah, you definitely decline that. I think if you're Texas, you have to keep leaning on this run game. I think that's going to be your best way that you're going to see success tonight, especially when Arch isn't exactly slanging the football. Leaning on CT, leaning on your star running back is going to be your way that you're going to have success. Tries to cut upfield, but gets absolutely stopped with the quickness. What a tackle there by Grupp as he manages to rip him down before CT can move his way forward. And Georgia's going to need more and more of that. It turned from a big gain into only a 3-yard gain. They need their defense to continue to step up to give KJ and the rest of this offense opportunities to win. You see the handoff again to CT. I don't know if they're going to give him the first there. They might, because it was really close. They did. You can see he's already passed 50 yards here, on his way to a century if he can keep up this pace, as we saw Kyrie Sims make that tackle. But, this is what Texas needs to be doing. This is their bread and butter right now. It's what they have to focus on. Ball possession football is how you're going to win against the #1 teams in the nation. They know this from last week against Bama, and they need to be doing more of the same here against Georgia. We see the play action. Arch got his first pass, I think, on this drive. Finds his man and delivers. You can see the run really opening up the pass for Texas here, as they have no choice really but to sit in man coverage because of the fact they have to be ready for that ball to be going to CT at any time. And that is Billingsley with the grab. The play action working to perfection, and I know Coach Nickerson is super happy about that play call and that design working as he had hoped it would. If I'm Texas, honestly, I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at right now. We're in Georgia territory. We're only down by 3. It is, getting towards halftime, but overall, you're feeling fine. And we see a massive hole here for CT. Makes his way to the outside, almost gets around that guy. Already at 68 yards, averaging almost 7 yards a carry. If you see that as a coach, you got to be thinking, okay, we just got to keep giving him the ball. We give him the ball the rest of the night, and there's nothing they're going to be able to do about it. Almost 7 yards a carry is insane for a running back, especially in the PFL. We have some great elite defenses, just like we know we do with Georgia, who do a wonderful job at stopping running backs from going crazy. So these are big numbers we're seeing out of CT early in this Friday Night Lights matchup. See Arch is going to take the quick route there. Fights his way for a first. Arch now up to 5 of 9 for 80 yards. First and goal for Texas. Are we going to see them punch it in here? I think this is going to be a run. Yes, it is. CT, is he fighting his way in? It looks like he did cross the plane. That is his second touchdown. Carlos, RB1, getting both touchdowns for Texas so far this game. 2 minutes and 42 seconds on the clock. Texas, pending extra point, is going to take a 14-10 lead. And what did I tell you? It's all about possession football for them. They got back into the run. It opened up the pass, and they let Carlos do his thing. Crosses the plane and gets Texas their lead back. And if you're Georgia, you have to be thinking before this half is over, we need to put points on the board. We cannot go into the half down. We are the #1 team in the nation, and Texas is out here on a mercenary mission after taking out Alabama. So you know for a fact that Georgia's feeling that pressure. You know, whenever you get that coveted crown, the pressure gets really, really tough, really fast. You know, heavy wears the crown, right? Well, let's see what KJ, Coach Woods, and the rest of this Georgia offense can cook up. You know, I'd love to see a little bit of more Elko. You know, I know Wimbo has been going crazy tonight, but I think he's got to get Elko the ball some more, keep feeding Kyson, keep feeding AJ. And of course, rely on his Heisman running back if they want to keep things moving. You know, Georgia's got weapons all over the place. We talk about it every time. And if you're Texas, you got to be feeling really good on the defensive side, whether you're the young guys who are now kind of moving into the 3 and 4 on the secondary. You know, Franklin's out there pretty regularly now in the slot for them, but also all their veterans, man, from their defensive line with Harris and Pierre, you know, to the veteran corners they got out there with White and King. Texas secondary is tough, and Georgia knows that, but you can see they got to be doing these run pass, run pass, run pass. Those are going to be the best spots for Georgia, so they can utilize all the weapons they have and keep the ball moving against what is a very, very good Texas defense. You see KJ kind of running the clock down, which is a little surprising to me, given I would want to have a sense of urgency here. But he does deliver a great pass to AJ, getting that man more involved. It's just what we want to see. And Georgia's, you know, getting themselves in a prime position to get points on the board before this half ends, which has got to be ideal. You see Coach Woods talking to his staff here, making sure they know what's going on, so that Georgia can try to get themselves in the best position possible. And a big piece of that has to be getting points here. You know, Texas has clearly proven they know how to run the ball. I expect to see halftime adjustments for Georgia to try to shut down CT as much as they can and continue to concentrate on the middle of the field, because that is doing wonders for them right now. You do see the no huddle, empty backfield. KJ goes underneath. Sorry, it wasn't empty backfield, just shotgun. We see more hurry up here out of Georgia. They do have 3 timeouts, but they must like the looks we're seeing. We see the play action. KJ's looking, goes for his man, finds his target, absolute laser to Kyson Carter. Once again, as we see KJ at 16 of 22 already. Besides his pick, he has had himself a very efficient game. We see Kyson with a big grab, and now we only have 1 minute left in the half. What a laser here. Finds him, and what a way for Kyson to come back on that route to catch the ball and get Georgia in a great spot to get some points on the board. We are seeing a back and forth offensive match right now, which is some exciting stuff. A great way to start the weekend. We do see just a little dump off route there for Georgia. Not a big deal. They're just trying to get a few yards. They do end up calling timeout here, which does make sense after all the hurry up they've been running. 28 seconds on the clock here for Georgia. 14-10. They definitely want to get a touchdown here. Let's see what they cook up. He does. Ooh, that's super risky, and he throws an interception. Absolutely brutal way for this half to finish up. Oh my goodness, the second pick of the night for Adkins. Georgia was looking so good, but he throws a risky pass, KJ, and it bounces right into the hands of Adkins. And if you're Texas, you're feeling so good about that defensive maneuver. You're just going to run the clock out here, go to the half, get the ball back. Momentum is on your side. Absolute brutal finish to that drive for KJ and Georgia. As we see Carlos strictly on the east to west plane, not really caring about north-south right now. He's already at 75 yards, having himself a great game. And we are going to see one more run for him before this half ends up. Gets a couple more, and that is going to do it. Make sure I see those threes in chat. You know I love halftime because I get to talk more about the game. Oh, sorry about that, folks. My headset kicked off for a second. I apologize, but I am back. Luckily, I didn't miss anything because it's just halftime. But man, oh man, what a game we are having here. absolute stunner out of Texas, if I'm being completely honest. Their defense is delivering on every front, doing everything they need to do, and that has got to make every Texas fan in the house happy. I know Coach Nickerson is feeling great watching this one. His boys are delivering on defense. His changes he's made so far are paying off. And currently, they're en route for the back-to-back #1 upsets, which would be absolutely insane. I think that would be the first time in PFL history, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, I got to be honest, part of me is rooting for that. But part of me also just wants to see a great game, and I hope Georgia can come out here with a response in the second half and do big things. So I just can't wait to see how this one ends up finishing. We know that Texas is getting the ball here to start the second half, which is going to be a big deal to seeing how this drive goes. If I'm them, I'm just thinking more runs, right? You just got to keep the ball in the hands of RB1, keep Carlos fed, let Arch do his thing when he needs to, but overall you got to be feeling good about where you're at. Time management is going to be key. You know eventually Georgia's offense is going to figure it out, so the less chances they have to do so, the better off you're going to be. So let's see what they open up with here. Arch takes the snap, and we do see a handoff immediately to CT. Surprised he didn't cut to his left. I feel like there was definitely a gap there. You see his stats, 14 for 81 and 2 touchdowns already. Are we going to see another run here? No, we're going to see Arch pass. Immediate pressure. Oh my goodness, what a hit from Chase Moore, getting to him like nothing. Wasn't even touched. Arch manages to get rid of the ball by some miracle feat, but man, that pressure was crazy. Has his man there on the quick route. That was a well-designed play with the double in routes. And Texas is going to keep the chains moving. That was Abaya on the catch. I think that's Abaya's first catch of the night, so good to see him involved. And I'm glad that Arch found him on that play. Like I said, that was well-designed. And keep the chains moving. Yes, that was Abaya, so good for him. Good to see him involved here early in the second half. And again, that's what Texas is going to need if they're going to want to hang on to this slim lead against the #1 team in the nation. Georgia can get it going with the quickness, so we have to be ready for that. You see Arch send a man in motion, fake the handoff, lots of time all day to throw. Pressure finally coming. Freaks out and just throws it to nobody. I'm going to call that a coverage sack because I don't really know what was going on back there with Arch. He had about 3 years to get that ball out. He could have made a sandwich and ends up throwing it out of bounds anyway. Got to be a little bit more accurate with those throws there. Speaking of, that was a great one. Absolute dot. Getting it back to Abaya again. Great target for him to have. Now you're in a third and manageable situation. Let's see what Texas cooks up here. Really quick pass. Has him again. Oh, no, that's someone else. Sorry. But has his man over the middle. Has the big tight end. That's Billingsley. 4 catches, 51 yards tonight. And those are the kind of plays that Texas needs to be taking advantage of. You know, they keep the clock moving. Keep the ball in your hands. You want to have these nice, sustained drives. Because Georgia's looking for those big plays right now to swing the momentum back in their favor. So they're going to be hitting hard, as you just saw there. I think that was one on the hit. They are going to be trying to pop that ball out. They're going to be looking for turnovers. They want to do something that's going to get this crowd amped up. And Texas's job is just to keep the crowd under control. CT breaks for a big gain there, 12 yards. Absolutely what Texas wants to see. Getting it done. And I mean, they have to be feeling really good about this. I am shocked, folks, honestly, in the booth. I did not expect Georgia to come out so flat-footed. Honestly, on the defensive side, I expect to see some big adjustments here in the second half. I thought for sure they'd be targeting that run because that's what I would be doing. You know what Carlos is out here doing to you right now. That has to be a focus of the defense. He's still managing to find out exactly what he needs. You see a very balanced offensive attack from Texas with 16 rushes and 14 passes. The 15th pass right here. Carlos gets up, grabs that catch, turns it into a couple yards of gain, but man, oh man, was there a lot of red there. So many Georgia players ready to bring that man down with the quickness. And we do see a handoff to CT. It tries to get outside, almost does so, but does end up getting tackled. Close to breaking out, but not quite, as that is Smith with his 3rd tackle of the night. And now Texas in a 3rd and 2, you know, in field goal range, not feeling too bad, but obviously would prefer to get the first and keep the ball moving, keep the drive alive, try to turn this into 6 points. And if I'm Texas, I'm just handing it off to CT here. And they fake it, they go for the bootleg. He goes for the deep shot, has his man, delivers, but there is a flag. There is a flag. Let's see, we got personal foul. It's a face mask. The way to stop the touchdown was by ripping him down with the face mask. Kyrie, that penalty isn't too costly because they were already at the 3-yard line. Maybe that might have even saved a touchdown, to be honest, because if you don't make that tackle there, he's making his way into the end zone. What a laser from Arch. And let's see, do we see the handoff to CT for the hat trick? We do not. We see the quick pass, quick touchdown to the big man. That's Billingsley again. Arch gets his first passing touchdown of the night, and just like that, Texas is looking poised to take an 11-point lead. But I just want to say 11-point leads mean absolutely nothing. If you watched Monday night's game, then you know that comebacks can happen with the quickness after watching the Oregon-Utah match. So do not think this 11-point lead is somehow insurmountable from the #1 team in the nation. And if you're Georgia, you're thinking, we're finally getting the ball back on offense. We haven't had a lot of drives, honestly. So KJ and company just need to come out and show out right now and prove that they deserve this #1 spot. I mean, this Texas team, this is the real deal. You know, Coach Nickerson made some real game plan changes. He told his young guys, listen, I don't think you guys are ready yet. We need to have some of our more veteran players out there leading this team. Brings them out, and just like that, you know, they beat the #1 team in the nation, who I thought looked pretty much unstoppable, and now they're on the way to possibly toppling the second #1 team in the nation in back-to-back weeks. The question is, if Texas wins this one, are they the #1 team in the nation? That's the real PFL hot take. As you see KJ throw it out. There's Kyson Carter once again. I don't know why he did this weird jump off the back foot throw, maybe just getting in his groove. But he will take the few yards gained there. And Georgia, let's see what your offense has got cooked up for this drive. Pressure coming, steps into the pocket. Good throw, finding the open target there. The pocket was collapsing. KJ had to make a quick decision. And after the couple of poor throws he's had today, making a quick decision like that and getting it completed has to feel good. Pressure coming again, pocket breaking down. Not able to get it to a man. I think he had a lane for a run. But a very quick 3-and-out for Georgia is not what they are looking for here in the second half. This was their first time the offense had the ball tonight in the second half, and were immediately stopped. And now you're giving it right back to Texas, who ran down almost half the clock of the quarter. And they're going to be looking to do the same thing. As you see CT stats here, 6 yards a carry. They've gone down just slightly from the 6.8. But still at 90 yards, still with 2 touchdowns, very close to a century mark. I expect them to break it on this drive. And we're going to see what Texas decides to do. I got to think they're going to keep managing that clock. We see CT running, and there you go, just like that. He is breaking that mark down. Absolutely beast run right there, just past 100 yards, exactly what he needed to do. And Texas has to be feeling so good about the way this offense has been able to move the ball against this #1 ranked defense. I mean, this Georgia defense, I was talking about it, you know, it is no slouch. You know, between Tim Ricks, Damari Jones III, Juan Redden, Kyrie Sims, Chase Moore, and Davian Bryant, and LJ Gray, they are stacked on the defensive side. But Texas is just finding a way to do what they need to do to keep the clock running, keep the chains moving. And so far, they are performing. We're going to see Arch take the snap here. Goes to the short route, has his man. Needed to cut up just a little bit sooner. That is the big tight end that got the catch earlier for the touchdown. That's Billingsley with his 6th grab of the knife, 57 yards total. And that was Smith with his 4th tackle. Had the drag route, ended up going a bit deeper, going for the 2nd level. Getting the boy, NJ Abaya, involved again. Great catch there. Great read by Arch, not taking the easy 4 yards and actually going to that 2nd level and getting some additional yardage. We see Abaya with 4 catches for 59 yards as well. That's the problem, man. When you're lean on the run like that and it's working, the pass becomes so much easier to open up. And we see Arch in the shotgun, going to take the snap here. Goes to his man again, except now they're getting CT involved in the air game as well. Getting another first down, and this Texas offense, you know, I gotta think this Georgia defense is just gassed at this point. They cannot get off the field. The offense is able to do with whatever they want to do right now, and that has to be absolutely exhausting. We see Arch on the rollout, wide open in the seam, up the middle. Arch now to 15 of 21 for 185 yards and a touchdown. Brewer with his first catch of the night. But Texas, man, in first and goal situation yet again, just doing whatever they want on the offensive side of the ball. This is astounding. This is exactly what they did to Alabama a week ago. This is insane, folks. Actually insane. We see another rollout, does go for the dump off, tries to get to the pylon, can't quite get there. I think that was Billingsley again, but now we're in second and goal on the 3. This is CT music. Do we see the handoff? Does he get the hat trick? No, we do see a pass from Arch, had the man in the flat, doesn't see a pressure coming, big hit, but able to get rid of the ball by some miracle there. Again, Arch manages to get it out as both Moore and Bryant were in his face. And now we see the handoff to CT fighting his way in. Are they going to give it to him? They didn't. They didn't give it to him. Kyrie Sims, the massive tackle. I thought he rolled over the plane, but it looks like he did not. Kyrie gets to him, gets him down in time to stop the touchdown. Actually, insanity. I don't know. That's really close. That's really close. And they're going to settle for a field goal. I don't know about that one, folks. I really don't. I feel like that was super close as Texas is forced to take the 3. And 24-10, that's a really familiar score. That was the Utah-Oregon score at one point. So this is definitely not over, folks, and this is just about the same amount of time on the clock when that was going on in that game. That touchdown versus field goal could be massive here if Georgia manages to drive down the field and get a touchdown on the board. What a play by Kyrie Sims and then Davion Bryant with the follow-up tackle. Got to give credit to those boys. CT was coming in, head down, wanting the hat trick, and he got stopped. Absolutely massive tackle from those two to keep their team in this game. And we see KJ take the first snap on this drive. Pressure starting to get there. Great blocking, though. KJ able to roll out, overthrows his man, but that was some excellent recovery blocking from that offensive line, not letting those guys from Texas get to the quarterback. Again, they got the big defensive tackles there, and Parker and Jones on the edges. I mean, Texas has a monster of a D-line. We see a great grab there from Wimbo again, and then a quick tackle by the Texas secondary, not letting him get any yards after the catch. But man, it's the Wimbo story today for Georgia. They say, Wimbo, we're gonna get you the ball, and that's really what our offense needs to be about, because we got to keep these chains moving. We cannot get another punt situation here. He finds his man. Yes, he does. I think that's Elko this time. Able to get a first down, get a little bit of confidence back for KJ. So we see Elko getting more involved. You see Coach Nickerson is super mad. Honestly, bro, I'd still be mad about the spot of the ball at the end of that last drive. I wouldn't be mad about what's going on right now, as Elko just ran a great route, got open, and we are down to 1 minute here in the third quarter, folks. Can Georgia keep the ball moving and get into the end zone in this third quarter? We do see Ryan Brooks finally, for the first time in a minute, it feels like, maybe in this quarter, and Parker on the tackle here. KJ is audibling at the line, doesn't like what he sees, goes to another handoff. Good audible, as that does get him right in front of that first down marker. 3rd and 1 as we wrap up the third quarter. Let me see those 4s in chat. This is PFL Friday night. Absolute energy right now out here. The Georgia Bulldogs are getting stunned by Texas 24-10, and we need to see an elite quarter out of KJ and the rest of this squad if they want to have any chance of coming back here. He starts it off in a great spot on the curl route, finds who else but Wimbo Bands, who's having an absolutely fantastic night with 6 catches for 73 yards. Keeps the ball moving. We're at plenty of time for Georgia to get this going, as Arch is over there already celebrating on the sidelines, but you can't get too excited too early. I mean, Georgia's got the ball. It's in your territory now. They just converted on another 3rd down, and I mean, this is the #1 team in the PFL, man. You can't just wrap it up when there's still 11 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. We see KJ take the snap here. Looks like it will be a fake handoff, play action, lots of time. Can somebody get open? He's looking. Looks like he is finding his man on the cutback. That's Kyson Carter with the 27-yard catch, coming back to the ball, recognizing that his quarterback had to go into scramble drill, cuts back on the go route, gets to the ball, and KJ delivers a dart right where he needed to, sees him cutting back on the jumping toss. What a throw and what a catch from Kyson. And just like that, Georgia is knocking on the door. It is on the 12-yard line, and they are thinking touchdown, touchdown, touchdown right now. Pressure coming from Texas. KJ has no choice but to throw it away there. I really actually agree with that, because I feel like if he set Ryan up, that would have been a hospital pass. So I agree with the decision to just throw it out of bounds. Finds another man on the curl route. Kyson again tries to cut upfield to get to the 1st down marker. Doesn't quite get there. We see a huge 3rd and 1 here for Texas. Can they get a stop? Probably the biggest 3rd down of the night. Zach immediately hit. Again, what did I talk about earlier in the broadcast, folks? Georgia hates lining up under center for these passing plays, and that is exactly why, as Jones got right in there and brought him down. He did manage to get rid of the ball, but had no time for any receiver to run a route. And I do think it's a mistake to kick a field goal here, as the difference between 14 and 11 at this stage is basically 0. If I'm Georgia, I'm thinking you got to go for it there. Coach Woods, very conservative with the play call, and Coach Nickerson has to be happy that his team is maintaining a 2-possession lead here with the ball in 10 minutes to go. This is an offense that loves to control the flow of the game, and they've done it all night. They've managed to do everything they want to do on offense. Arch has had himself a great game. Once again, I mean, if they manage to hold on, clearly securing his starting job over LA, that could be real interesting, as the season winds down for what LA's decisions are going to be. As we see the handoff to CT, he does manage to break out. Breaks off his man, and that's exactly what he can do. Once he gets into the open field, he says, "Get off me, I'm going for it." Absolutely huge run, doing exactly what they need to do against this #1 team. Keeping the ball moving, and just like that, he's basically at the 50, right in Georgia territory yet again. What a performance by 5th-ranked Texas, coming off that huge victory. The momentum wave they got to be feeling right now is just crazy. And we do see the quick tackle in the backfield this time. Of course, you cannot count Georgia out. Again, they have excellent defense. We see Wilkes with his first tackle, but everyone on this Georgia defense can get a big play. Just like that, it could be a fumble 6, a pick 6. Anything like that is always within the realm of possibility with this Georgia defense. We've seen it before. We've seen Chase Moore get a fumble and recover it. We've seen, Kyrie and Juan and Tim and Damari all get picks. So I would not be surprised to see a momentum shift like that. But if you're Texas, you're feeling super good about what's happening, as Arch delivers yet again to his man Billingsley. And Billingsley is going to keep it moving. Texas just passed 200 passing yards. That's 8 catches for 85 for Billingsley. We did have Juan on the tackle, but man, oh man, that is not what you want to see if you're a Georgia fan. Them being able to move the ball, get it right back within field goal range. Now it's like your field goal didn't even happen. And just like that, Texas is putting themselves in prime position. If we see a touchdown here, the comeback could get out of reach for Georgia. We see CT get the ball once again, pounds his way forward for 5 yards. He's really had great control over this game. Look at those stats, 22 rushes for 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm sure he's mad he didn't get the hat trick, but at the end of the day, he has to be ecstatic about his performance so far. Arch does deliver, and they do cross the chains for a first down. 7.5 minutes to go, folks. I am stunned at what I'm witnessing right now. We do see another handoff to CT. Gets spun tackled for a gain of what looks like 8 or 9. As we see, Georgia has allowed 360 total offensive yards tonight. Absolutely unheard of for this Georgia defense. In Texas, man, they are proving themselves as they are now at 1st and goal territory, just past 150 rushing yards. Absolutely crazy as we get halfway through the 4th quarter here. Another handoff to CT. Breaks another man off and just walks his way into the end zone. That is a hat trick for Carlos Thompson, RB1. Getting it done for Texas all night. Definitely put the game on his shoulders and has been delivering time and time again. You really cannot ask for much more out of a running back. A hat trick, over 160 yards right now. Arch is pumped. I know Coach Nickerson is pumped. The changes they've made have clearly worked as they look to be in prime position to go back-to-back weeks defeating #1 teams. And, you know, with the results we saw this week, especially, you know, Monday's game, I can see Texas, you know, climbing the ranks, climbing up. You know, I know their overall might not reflect a #1 ranked team, but when you beat back-to-back #1 ranked teams, you got to start asking yourself as a pundit, as a fan, is this the best team in the nation? Because these aren't close games. These aren't neck and neck. Texas is really coming out here and putting on the work against these guys. So let's see what Georgia can do here. Let's see what KJ's thinking. It's got to be pass, pass, pass. I assume Texas secondary is going to be prepared for that. But let's see what Georgia cooks up. We see the play action. Great blocking. Looks like KJ's just going to take off and slide down. Just get a 6-yard rush there. Good secondary coverage out of Texas. And good decision making out of KJ. No need to extremely force it and just put the nail in the coffin right away. Rush coming, sets the screen up. Has blocking, but the second blocker was not able to get there in time. And we see the big tackle out of Texas. Ryan Brooks unable to really turn the corner on that screen as Cook gets his 5th tackle of the night. KJ finds his... Oh! What? He had his man, but somehow that's an incompletion. That looked like it was going to be a touchdown, and instead it's 4th and 4, and he throws a 3rd pick. Texas with another interception. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? What is happening out there? As Amora gets the pick, but from a play that literally looked like a wide open touchdown on that post route to an interception and an absolute lockdown by Texas. 4 minutes and 58 seconds on the clock. This is just going to be handoff to Carlos, handoff to Carlos. Oh, nope, I lied, I guess. We're seeing passes. That seems incorrect to me, but that's okay. Obviously, Coach Nickerson knows what he's doing. You can tell by his last 2 performances, but I just feel like with the way CT's playing and the fact you want the clock to keep rolling, that I would be handing it off here. But, you know, maybe it's the mind games, right? They expect you to hand it off, so you pass instead. We do see the handoff this time. CT does get his way forward from probably 6.5. Puts him into 3rd and 3. And I expect to see another handoff here. There it is. Finds the hole, pushing his way forward. Nobody can bring him down before he crosses the plane. And Carlos has his 4th rushing touchdown on the night. This man is unstoppable in the backfield. Why pass when you can just run for 20 yards and a touchdown? Absolutely feasting tonight. You love to see it. You guys know I am a running back myself. I absolutely love seeing nights like this. And Carlos and the rest of Texas have really just done anything they want against this Georgia team, as they're about to make it 38-13. That is 100% the player of the game in my book. He is having himself a hell of a night, as he adds another 21 yards and another touchdown on the books. If I'm Georgia, I'm turning off those screens, by the way, but, you know, that's just me. We're going to go ahead and see him kick it off here again. Georgia's offense is going to get another chance to come out here and get some consolation points. But, honestly, this game is cooked. All I have left for commentary is that I am extremely surprised. I can't wait to hear all the discourse about this one after it's done. Chat it up with you guys all weekend, but this is just wild. This result is the farthest thing from what I was expecting. And let's see if Georgia can get some consolation points, as who else but Wimbo is getting involved. Georgia is going to obviously not just give up, but, you know, Texas has to be up there in picture mode. They're chilling. They're about to knock off back-to-back #1 teams. They got to be feeling so ecstatic about what's happening right now. Absolutely delivering on all cylinders. Bringing in the more veteran experience has really proven to make a huge difference. As you can see that both offensively and defensively. As you know, KJ is getting the ball moving, trying to get some consolation points, gets it into Texas territory. Obviously, they're going to try to get another touchdown here. Almost throws a 4th pick. Almost 4 burgers for our boy. But off the hands, not to be. KJ gets ready, finds his man in the seam. Wimbo again, and now it's inside the 20. And where was this all night, Georgia? Like, this is the team I'm used to seeing, right? They get the ball, they move it downfield within seconds, right? And this was just not happening. Credit to the Texas defense, because Georgia has not been able to do what they normally do. Find these gaps in the seams, make these big time plays. They've just not been there. And we really are seeing back-to-back #1 team losses to the same squad. Texas absolutely have to be elate right now if you're a Texas fan. We see a little bit of pressure coming. KJ delivers an actual laser to AJ Barnes. I think that was his best throw of the night, as they get it within, 1 yard of the end zone. And it does look like Georgia's going to get some consolation points at the very end here before we wrap this one up, trying to make it look at least a little bit more respectable. And are they going to give it to the Heisman? They are, but he cannot get around and gets brought down for a loss. Big tackle there, unable to let that guy get to the outside, and Ryan Brooks does not get into the end zone. Great job breaking off of his block and getting the tackle. You can see him just absolutely get him down and said, no, we're going to make you fight even harder than you've already been fighting tonight, just to get into the end zone. And now it looks like a passing down here. KJ's going to take the snap, has him in the flat. Ryan does go out of bounds. Is Georgia not even going to get a touchdown here? Let's see. I mean, this is clearly 4-down territory just for consolation points, I feel like. You got to try to get into the end zone here. KJ sends Ryan Brooks in motion. Might be looking to him on the pass. I'd keep your eye on the top of the screen. Is going to end up going to the other side. Does not connect with Kyson. Almost intercepted. And they are just going to take the field goal again. Just like they did earlier. I disagreed earlier. I still disagree now. This one is over no matter what. Let your guys go out there and try to get a score. As of right now, it's still a 3-possession game. Down by 22. And we know, I expect Texas to just come out here, run it a couple times, or go into victory formation. If they don't anticipate Georgia calling any timeouts. With 1:42 on the clock, you can tell that Coach Woods is just shocked. Much like I am very surprised at the result we're seeing right now. But Coach Nickerson has to be super happy. Obviously, you can see Carlos has had a monster game with 180 rushing yards, 10 receiving yards, but the rushing yards really tell the story. He has been able to do anything he wants, and honestly, I feel like you just hand him the ball a couple more times, see if he can get 20 more, see if he can break 200, because that would be absolutely outstanding. We see he does find a hole, gets 15 of those 20. He is 5 away from breaking 200 yards tonight. Which would be absolutely outstanding. And I would love to see that, so I hope they give him another handoff. They're not in victory formation, so it does look like he's going to get another one. Let's see if he can get 5 yards here. Running it down to the last second. Carlos gets the ball. Doesn't quite get 5. He gets 2. Needs 3 more. Still no victory formation. Looks like Coach Nickerson, he is going to get 1 more play off. And can Carlos cross the 200-yard mark? Yes, he can as he breaks off. Oh my goodness, almost breaks off another man and goes for 5 touchdowns. Doesn't quite get there, but does move his way well past 200 yards at 215 yards for the night, along with 4 touchdowns. So close. If he could have just broken off that tackle, would have had 5 touchdowns tonight. I don't think Texas will hike it. Let's see. No, they will not. Just like that, that is the end of this one. Texas 38, Georgia 16. Massive victory for the number 5 team in the nation, knocking down their back-to-back number 1 ranked opponents. This was all about time of possession football. This was all about clock management. They ran the ball to perfection, opened up the pass, leaned on their defense to get it done when they needed. Texas delivered on all fronts. Their takeaways have to be this veteran leadership is really making a difference, and we just got to keep it moving. To me, honestly, watching this game, that's the number 1 team in the nation, and I'm gonna stake my claim on that right now on this on this commentary. But shout out to my boy Zeke in production as always. Shout out to everybody out here tuning in with me. I had a great time tonight. Can't wait to chat it up with you all this weekend. I love doing this. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And again, if you're new to the PFL, make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube. You're following us on Instagram. And you are filling out that application, because before you know it, it'll be my time to call your name up here in the booth, and you'll be running for over 200 yards. So with that, everyone have a great Friday night, and I will catch you all next time. Goodbye.